Second last thing I want to talk about is Tarion and all you new home purchasers, because I know a lot of my clients are new home buyers and they're buying directly from the builder, or a lot of my realtors are trying to help their clients through these difficult times when they're buying these new houses. Tarion has put out some information for us to communicate to you. Not all of it is positive, of course. Basically, what it boils down to is all Tarion warranty claims are essentially suspended, all the submission deadlines. So that includes their 30-day, their year-end, the second year, major structural defect, delayed closings, financial losses, deposit claims. All of these deadlines have been suspended. So once this emergency order, quote unquote, has been lifted, then homeowners will receive another reasonable extension to submit the forms if they have any complaints about the builders and their property through Tarion. So these timelines for builder repair periods are also suspended. So if they have to do any repairs on your property, that's all suspended. They don't have to do anything right now except for emergency situations and health and safety issues. The time requirements for builders to send notices of delayed closings have also been suspended. So your project may be delayed, but you may not even get a notice, nor does a builder have to provide any notice at this time. And the pandemic, the coronavirus pandemic, has been included, or the definition of an unavoidable delay includes pandemic. If you look at the March 16th statement that Tarion put out. And so what happens in that situation is that when this delay occurs, so for example, the pandemic, it's basically considered a delay directly caused by this pandemic, which is beyond the reasonable control of the builder, and is not caused by the fault or contributed to by the builder. So what does this mean? So what this means is that when it comes to the unavoidable delay, there are two timelines. So there's a period of time for the direct impact of the pandemic, which is kind of the period that we're in right now. We don't know when it's going to end. Is it getting worse? Which is what it looks like, or is it getting better? And so they're not required to set any new dates at this time. And then there's a second period, which is the time period due to the after effects caused by the pandemic. So after this situation is presumably under control, there's going to be another time period where the builder has to figure out, okay, given all that's happened, how much reasonable time do the purchasers need, or do the builders need, to complete this transaction? So as this is a global pandemic, the builders cannot set any due dates. They don't have to set a date until after this is all over, and they can't even get back to construction unless, all the considerations are reasonable. Some builders are still trying to finish their homes. Some have stopped, but you should still expect some reasonable delays, because even the builders who are building are subject to the social distance or physical distancing guidelines, which means that a lot of builders cannot have the same amount of construction workers they would have had. And so, believe me, I know this is frustrating for you as purchasers, as realtors, but it's actually not great for the builders either. They can't collect any money at this time because, in other words, even if they were to collect funds at this time, there's no guarantee of when they can start constructing. So people are not going to be willingly giving their money to these projects until they figure out what's going on. So in other words, everybody suffers. In terms of PDIs, so if your property is basically built and you're just getting ready for closing, some municipalities are not sending inspectors, so you can't get occupancy permits. So this puts everybody in difficult situations. And it's especially difficult for people who have already sold their houses or given notice to the landlord, anticipating that their new home would be built in or around this time, and now they may not have anywhere to go and their new home may not be ready. So it's a very difficult situation. Again, if you have anything like this, be on top of it. Contact the lawyer that's involved, contact the realtor, let them know. Talk to your current landlord, or try to negotiate your current situation, negotiate an extension to your current living situation for as long as possible, given the situation.